Hey guys, Zyke here, and welcome back to another episode of Roguelike Adventures and Dungeons with me. Hello. As you can see, I moved my gradient wall. And outside of that, I've done a little bit, but towards actually like decorating and stuff, nothing. But that's okay, because couple things. I now have a book to help keep track of what I've been doing. And my notes are I moved the southeast wall. So if we look on the map here, I moved here down a little bit, and now it feels balanced. And I adjusted the keep a little bit where I think it's going to be, but that could possibly change in the future because that's what we're going to be working on this episode anyway. But I moved that wall down, and now this whole place feels so much more balanced. I don't know why I couldn't figure that out a couple days ago, but you know. And then my other note is I have a new armor as well as some quests. So big thing is I'm actually wearing some tin armor now, but as you can look at me, it looks like I'm still wearing my wolf armor, and that's because I moved it over to the cosmetic. And I did that because there's only like 9 durability left on this thing. So I just want it to still look like I have it on, but I don't want to actually break any of it. So I moved over with the armor a little bit, but because of that, I had to do some of the quests for the armor because I wanted the best that I can. Because I think I've either explained this before or I've thought about it really hard and forgot to say the words out loud. Both are entirely possible. But one of the things with this pack, because I'm playing it in a very odd way, is that I have been on the server for a very long time, and I'm not anywhere where I should be comparably when it comes to armor and skills and that sort of thing, so mobs are becoming a lot harder, which is why I'm dying a lot more when I go to the mines. It's purely not a skill issue. Um, so I think that's what's going on at least, so I've had to kind of like halt a little bit with my plans and going back and doing the armor. So I have made some silver armor. I've also made a sapphire pickaxe at some point. I've also at this point have broken 640 stone. So I've been doing a little bit of the quest. So I have the silver armor at home. I have the sapphire pickaxe. Probably already have broken it at this point, to be completely honest. And then I have the stone. And with this, I think, what am I the lowest on? Endurance? Yeah, let's up our endurance a little bit. We'll do that. There we go. So I've been kind of doing a little bit... Ooh, melon juice. Yay! A little bit, stuff. Like, let's go look. Let's see, I have some other quests. I have the dimensional quest. It just wants to talk about dimensional dungeons, because at some point I got the book, and I have no memory of doing that, but I did it. Card collector. Oh yeah, I was working on some Buddy Bean stuff at some point with y'all. So I made some Buddy Beans, which the recipe was pretty... I think I just got that by accident. And then I made the Bloody Steel Blend. I remember talking about this with you guys. So I did the steps, I just didn't show it on camera. But y'all know what's going on. And then, let's see. Mini contraptions, what have I done here? Again, I got a book, have no memory of doing that. Hostile world. I have met a lobster. It's a small sea creature found in the water right off the beach. They'll pinch anything aggressive to them, but usually won't chase, can come in a number of colors. And that happened while I was moving my wall here, because what happened is I broke the wall, I started building this one, and I don't know what happened, but I just straight up did not hit shift, crouch, nothing, and I fell all the way down there. Somehow, I didn't hit the water, but I had 2.5 hearts left, and then immediately got the quest that I met a lobster. So, there's lobsters down there. Let's see, what else is there to talk about? I've gotten plenty of rotten eggs because of the chickens I've been hanging out with, and then with Greek fantasy, I have killed a minotaur, so I got a horn. And that would be it for the quest. So we're a little bit caught up on that. Still behind in general, but those are done. And I can go ahead and open these. Loot crate. More randomite ore. Pewter ingot. Neat. And Ethereum. I don't know what this is. What are you? It's made from Ethereum ore, which looks like it's probably in the end, but that could just be me. Ooh, it's so glowy. Is it good? Ooh, it takes gathering 70 to have it. Oh, it mines a 3. That's what I've been looking for. I don't know if y'all noticed, but I've had hammers in my backpack because I'm like, oh, I would like to have a hammer. Those don't do what you think. They just break like normal pickaxes. So I've been looking for that. So I need to get that. And then pewter is made from pewter blend, which is just iron and lead. And then what can I do with that? I can make a crucible. I can make a brazier. I can make necrotic focus. I can make things that I don't know what to do with. So that's great. And then I got a buddy steel knife. I'll just hold on to that. Anyway, so yeah, what I have been doing off camera, however, is I've been planning out what this keep is going to look like, because I have decided that, because at first I was going to just start building the entrance to the castle, because it makes a lot of sense to me, but I was kind of going over in my head, and I'm like, well, you know what, I need a place to live, and the keep is what it is. It's where I'm supposed to live, eat, that sort of thing. So I think, and I think this makes more sense when it comes to how castles were kind of built in real life. You kind of started with a keep and then would build the walls around it later. It's just what makes the most sense to me. So I've been planning how to do that, and I have a little bit of a speed paint for you guys, completely mumbo jumbo inspired. I've been watching him a lot lately. But I've been trying to plan out my castle, and I started with just like a flat image, trying to figure out the details with that. I've been using a lot of reference, looking at a bunch of castles online and that sort of thing. And then I also wanted to do kind of a 3D version of that. Now with the flat, I was able to figure out exactly how I wanted the walls to be. I got kind of a color palette down. I don't want it to be completely the same gradient all the way, so I think the building up in the front is going to be a bit of a lighter white, where the rest in the back, kind of like creating shadows, is going to be a darker gray. I think that'll help me incorporate a lot of the shading that I've been wanting to do a little bit better. And then I did the 3D version of the building, which really showed how, like, is it going to be too busy and that sort of thing, and I don't think it will be. I was really proud of this, actually. I had a lot of fun doing it. And I really like how it's turning, how it turned out with how I think it's gonna look. Now, the only thing I'm a little bit worried about is translating the drawing over to Minecraft. My building at the moment is only 25 by 25 blocks. I have a feeling I'm gonna have to make that a little bit bigger, but we'll see as we go. But I'm really proud of this, and I'm going to be using it as reference a lot. I'm really glad that I was able to tie in the blue a little bit, because that was one of the things that I was worried about. Because I want to tie in the blue, but I wasn't sure how, and I didn't want the blue to be, like, a little bit too much. And I think just by doing a blue roof, it's going to be that pop of color without being, like, overwhelming. So that is the plan that I have today with this. And we'll see how it goes. So we're just gonna do not so much a time lapse, because I don't have the ability to do that, but we're just gonna kind of like go through with it. So let's go ahead and get started. And there we go. We have a castle. And by a castle, I mean a wall. It has taken me 4.5 hours to get this far, but I'm actually really proud of it. So just don't worry about it. Because now we've got a gradient down. I think, as y'all noticed through the time-lapse thing, I added 2 new blocks to our palette. I now have these soapstone bricks, which... soap. You make using clay and cobblestone, and it makes the soapstone. And then from that, you just craft it into the polished soapstone, and then polished soapstones make soapstone bricks. I needed a darker shade of gray, and I didn't want to go straight black. But I needed a darker shade of gray because when I originally was making this wall, because in my concept art, this pillar, or these corner pillars, are a little lighter than these back walls. And I was using the darkest block that I already have anyway, and I was like, I can't do that because then they kind of blend too much. So I got a darker block, and then I was up here, and I wanted to make these half slab type blocks for the dimension, but I can't do that with clay, which is the block that I kind of needed for that. And I found that diorite in this pack is actually more of a gray rather than a pure white like it is. So usually diorite looks a little bit more like this marble shade, if I remember correctly, but it's actually this gray here. So it's slightly darker than clay, but does what I needed to do. So that's up there now. So I'm actually really happy with this. There's a handful of things that I'm debating on if I need to change or not. First of all, this is an even number wide. It's 6 by 6, and that's because I wanted the door to be even, but these windows and the pillar at top is a little awkward. But I might just keep it that way because it is already that way. I have no windows put in the art that I have. I think I have like this like slight yellow color for the windows, and I'm debating on, because I was looking at the yellow glass that we have, and none of it's right. None of this yellow is the correct yellow that I want, and I don't know if it would be considered a yellow at this point. I don't know. So the only thing I'm thinking of doing is just doing like plain glass and then putting like something yellow behind it, because these pillars are actually only a 3 by 3, so the middle of it's only one block. The only way I'd be able to use these is if I had a ladder on one side. And just had that going up, and that would be my only access to the roof. But I don't know. I think I'm just going to keep these decorative anyway. So I'm thinking I can just put the glass there, and then behind the glass put something that's a very light yellow, like this yellow stained planks are quite light. I think sandstone is a little bit more when I'm looking for towards that shade. Slightly, like if this was just slightly more yellow, but something like that. Or I can just throw the glass idea out anyway and still put that in the middle so it gives that glowy thing. Because I don't think a lot of medieval castles had glass. And I say that with no confidence. But I don't necessarily need that. I know castles had glass. I'm talking like specifically the old ones. I don't know if that was common, or maybe if I could do something else. I don't know. But yeah. So the only thing I'm debating on changing is in these upper corners here. I think I want to put an extra block there just so that would curve at top too, because it looks kind of actually like thin and scraggly. But that's not with the art that I have, but I'd have to test that out on my own. But how about we've gotten this far. How about we just go ahead and have the rest of our castle? So we're going to do a little bit of a magic cut, and bloop, and there we go. Castle. I've never done a cut like that before. It's a little magical, isn't it? So I got all the walls up. I think everything's looking good. I got chickens everywhere because I've been just throwing eggs. But I think this looks pretty good. Of course I chose to do this when the sun is setting, but that is okay. I have a lot of materials in this backpack still. I had to do a lot of mining back and forth. If we actually look at my chat, I've been teleporting everywhere for quite a while, and this took over maybe 2 days IRL time. But this definitely, the last 3 walls probably took just as long as the initial front wall. Just all together, because I kind of already knew what I was doing at that point. So yeah, super simple. Looks real nice, I think. And actually, if we go over here, it's just kind of a distance thing. I think that looks pretty cool. From, like, definitely from a distance, you're getting the gradient thing that I'm wanting. Up close, I think maybe it's a little much, if I'm going to be 100% honest. But I think from a distance, it looks pretty cool. Now, we do have to remember where we see those 2 giant squares, there's going to be a wall in front of this anyway, so you're not going to get this view. But it does tell me that that is correct. That the gradient I used works, that's perfect, and it does exactly what I want. So I'm super happy about that. So let's go back up here. And it looks pretty much like what I was looking for. We got the blue roof that we've got going on. I do have a pet cockatrice. During that little spin bit, I threw a rotten egg, and he just popped out. And I got an advancement that says, tame a cockatrice. I have a baby. Which was not intentional. But yeah, I will say, don't look on the inside. There's nothing going on in here. But you know, it's fine. That will be a separate battle because this front part took quite a while. But you can have access to the top if we just pop up through here. And then this is our little roof situation. I think it looks pretty nice. I'm not too worried about things spawning or anything like that if need be. I can't always put torches down, but I think this looks pretty nice. These are hollow still. And I'm thinking, once we start getting nether stuff, I can use the blaze lanterns. Hello, family of giants that just appeared in my yard. So I think that's something that we... I think he just jumped over the edge. He'll be fine. I think that's something that we can do once we start getting nether stuff. And now that we actually have like a place to live, despite the interior, we can actually start working on quests like we're supposed to. Oh, I didn't finish. Don't look at that. Like we're supposed to, and actually start working on getting like nether stuff and that sort of thing, because now I have an area to actually put things. Definitely don't want the portal in my house, but I can actually just start out there, just putting portals down and then build like a house around it later. Though with the nether, we're not going to have a proper portal because of the way that the nether is. But I think with this, I want to do a handful of quests really quick. Because where's my booklet? I wrote down, need to finish keep, did that. Need to make a bigger graveyard, that's a separate problem. And we've talked about the rest of this. I was killed by a Wilden Hunter. I don't remember if that was on camera or not. That's okay. But we do have a handful of things in here. So Pathfinder, I did find a biobub fields and a biobub, or a coniferous forest. Good. And I found that because if we actually look up here, I've been using diorite. I think I talked about this before. I couldn't find it for a while, so I actually have a waypoint way out there. Because that's the only place I was able to find diorite. It's all the way over here. And this is also where I died. But I don't need any more diorite, which is cool. I have plenty for the moment. And how's my food looking? I need more protein, not more carbs. Cool. I'm trying to keep my balanced diet. Anyway, let's see. What was the other quest that we had? Hostile World. I did find a gazelle. They're a small creature of the savannas, very timid and prefers its large groups, which will flee at the first sign of danger. Cool. So I wanted to go back to world exploration. We have a couple quests in here that we could do really quick, because we actually have the items for it. I just never noticed. So let's go back to this home real quick. And, okay. Just move this over real quick. Okay. So, a couple of the quests that we have, I have been able to kill, like, a lot of zombies and skeletons and that sort of thing. We also just get so many bones just from digging because of our excavation skill. So we can do some of those quests. So, let's see. So, we have bones. I just need 10 bones. And then with the skeleton zombies, I need 32 rotten flesh. Let's go ahead and do that. Boop and boop. So you actually need to submit them, which is where I was not getting these before. Oops. Let's up my combat. And then with the bones, submit that. And from here, maybe we'll do endurance. I always like some more endurance. So those will all go up. So I gave us some cooked mutton, some bandages for bleeding, potion of healing. Those are always good. And that's it. That's cool. Okay. What else? I think in the same realm of that, 10 gunpowder. Cool, cool. Submit. And I'll up my combat again. I'm not worried about the gathering or farming or anything like that, because of course. And then up here, I think we have a lot of the same, but it's 64 of each. Don't have enough gunpowder, but I do have enough of the bones and the rotten flesh. Words escape me at the moment. Let's do a random smithing, why not? Okay. So that gave us a bunch of stuff for that, which is cool. I also have to get 64 slime balls, but I don't even think I have one. No. And let's see. I don't think there was any other quests that I was really looking at the very moment that we can get. I do know we do need to start thinking about actually going to the Nether. There is an emerald apple, but I would need alloying, and I'm not at that point quite yet. Medkit. I need glistering melon. I could probably do that. Do I have watermelon? I do have watermelon. Do I have gold? I do have gold. Look at me. Look at me having things. Medkit. So with the medkit, we need bandage, plaster. I have a different kind of bandage. Do I have the bandage it wants? Where did I put anything? Hello? Hello? There it is. Bandage, plaster, melon, 2 pieces of paper, and a healing salve. Well, I was pretty much already there. Woo! Medkit. Neat. That gives us a lockbox, and that gives us paper. Thanks. Okay, cool. I'll put those in there. I'll also put this in here, because I'm actually not really using those, even though I probably should in reality. But I think we're going to just stop it there. I know that was just kind of a quick. This episode is a little different than I normally do. I think it's kind of similar to the last episode. I'm not sure how often I'm going to do editing style like that, where I do the whole building kind of as a time-lapse, and also a lot of just the spinny trick things. Because this episode ended up taking me a lot longer than I thought it could, and due to how my life is at the moment, this has actually led to a pretty large gap of me uploading, which I do apologize for. I know a lot of y'all probably are like, it's fine, but, you know, I enjoy doing this, though, so I'm not, like, throwing it out the window. I'm not saying it was, like, a pain in the butt or anything like that. I just wasn't expecting it to take as long as it did. I have to remind myself a lot of the time that when I'm watching, because I do watch a lot of other people play Minecraft, obviously, since I'm referencing Hermitcraft sometimes, I forget that this is their full-time job. And that's why they're able to do things the way that they do and at the scale that they can do. I do have a full-time job outside of this. In fact, I'm doing overtime more often than not. So I kind of don't always have the time to do this, and which is sad because I love to do this so much, but I just have to remind myself I gotta pace myself. So it might be a little bit before we see another episode like this. But anyway, between episodes, let me write down this in my fancy dancy book, other than the fact that I need to make a bigger graveyard. Next episode, I am going to finish the interior of the keep. How about, instead of finish, since I'm going to say pacing myself, begin the interior of the keep. And then I do actually want to start the quests. I do not remember if I mentioned this before. Here's the other problem is, like, since I have this split up between a lot of different days, I don't remember what I've talked about before or not, and I do apologize if I'm very repetitive. I'm learning. But I do think I have gotten myself into a hole of, since I've taken a long time, I think I have a day and a half worth of IRL time in the server, that things get progressively harder the longer that you're in the world. And because I've been taking my time with a lot of things, I think things have escalated to a point where it's very difficult, where I'm not at that level quite yet, because, yeah, I've been mining and such, but probably not as much as I should be. I probably should have already been in the Nether and home at this point. So I've getting scared because I'm like, oh, I gotta be prepared for the Nether. It's gonna be super scary because I can't come home right away because of the way that the Nether works in this world. You have to actually find the exit. You can't just go back the same way that you came. And I don't want to die. So I'm like, oh, I gotta be prepared, but the longer that I'm waiting to be prepared, the more higher the likelihood of me dying. So, but yeah, I'm just glad that we got the keep down. That should be able to allow us to, like, you know, start rushing ahead a little bit with that, because as soon as we start doing the Nether, I think we'll be in a good spot. We just have to just get there and just keep chugging. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any tips, tricks, or anything like that, please put it down in the comments below. I would greatly appreciate it. And I hope to see y'all in the next one. Bye-bye!